With a frame more than 5 pounds lighter than its nearest competitor, the DS450 team then set out to attack designing front suspension, brake, and steering systems unlike anything seen before.
Unsprung weight is basically all the parts that move with the suspension. Okay, so it's going to be your double A arms, it's going to be your knuckle and your hub and all the brake parts, and obviously the tire and the wheel. We want the parts out there to be as light as they can be so they can better follow the terrain. So the suspension can move up and down quickly and the tire stays on the ground. So your handling is much more precise, you track where you want to be, and weight, again, enemy number one on every component. An aluminum upper A-arm was not unheard of. You know, people were doing it out of tubes, and again, they were welding, and brings us all right back to the frame part of it. You know, welding weakens. On Outlander, for fact, or Renegade, we use a forged aluminum upper A-arm. So now came the challenge, which is how can I dig down and do a forged lower aluminum A-arm? And that really is a big breakthrough on this bike. You know, again, FEA was a key tool in this, and you can see it when you look at the part. You know, when you look at the lower A-arm, you see the mass here where the shock mounts, and you see the part optimized out at the end. Where the first breakthrough really came was in that whole idea of tucking the kingpin axis into the wheel as much as possible. And the brake caliper, instead of being on top, is actually inverted and from the bottom. That way we could tuck those ball joints in as far as we could. So it really helps to package those things into a tight area. As soon as you do that, you can bring the wheel up closer so we can have a shorter spindle. We've got a very short spindle, and it's made of aluminum. That spindle is actually a lever. So when you hit something, all those forces are transmitted through that lever and end up right into the rider's wrists. Okay, so by reducing that lever, we reduce kickback, reducing the fatigue, reducing the input back to the rider. For us that love the technical, this is a work of art. I mean, this is cool. We have the least amount of scrub possible in a 46-inch bike. Why? Because we have the longest A-arm of any 46-inch bike. Our rider that was testing, Jeremy Schell, was asking for, you know, some of the good old days of being able to attack a bump. And to do that, you need an attack angle. So the angle your A-arms are at as they hit an obstacle. We have a 14-degree attack angle. You know, as an example, some of our competitors are at 7 and 5. You know, if you take our design and you look at it versus, you know, the benchmark sport ATV competitor, we're 5 pounds less. That is huge. 5 pounds less unsprung weight. That's pushing the limit. That's going outside the box, and that's meeting Jose's mandates.
I'd never really rode a prototype before, and this thing had aluminum A-arms on it, and I'm like, I don't know about this. And when I first got on, I was being careful, and after a little while I got where I was just, man, this thing handles pretty good. It's really light. I do know a little bit about tuning suspension and what I like in a bike. When you're blitzing a set of whoops, sitting to the back of the bike, front end just working really nice. Not any binding whatsoever in the A-arm or anything. That makes the shocks work better, so the whole bike works better in the front. When you're driving into the corner, you can drive the bike wherever you want it to go. It's easier to go into the corner and even come out of the corner. The kickback in your hands is so much less. That's the key for a racer. Not to go out and break something, hurt yourself, and DNF. You're always looking for all those characteristics in the front end, so I think they've hit the nail on the head with this one.